I recently watched the Avicii documentary and I loved it. For those who might not know who Avicii is, Avicii was the stage name for this awesome guy called Tim Berling. He's a Swedish DJ, producer and a songwriter who skyrocketed to fame in the early 2010s, and he has amazing tracks like Wake Me Up and Levels, which became almost like anthems around the world. His songs are the kind that make you want to dance and sing, and they just make you feel alive. The documentary is unbelievably brilliant. It's very raw and it's intimate, and it offers this behind-the-scenes look at his rise and then the toll that a lot of success can take on a person. As many of us know, the story doesn't end well. Tim tragically took his own life in 2018 at just 28 years old. From the outside looking in, Tim had everything. He was one of the most successful DJs and producers of his generation. His music reached billions of people, and he played sold-out shows across the globe. He had fame, he had money, he had so many people admiring him. But as the documentary reveals, behind this glittering facade was someone who was deeply struggling. Tim battled anxiety, chronic health issues, and the relentless demands of an industry that didn't stop to ask him if he was okay. Watching it really left me reflecting on something so simple yet so profound. We never really know what people are carrying. To the world, Tim's life looked so perfect. It looked polished. I envied him. But what was happening on the inside told a really different story. And isn't that true for so many of us? How often do we scroll through social media and see someone's flawless life, someone we think has a flawless life? We're quick to assume others have it so much easier or better than we do, and that they've figured it all out. But we rarely pause to consider what might lie beneath the surface, or what wounds they might be nursing, or a lot of the time what burdens they might carry in silence. It's a real reminder to approach people with gentleness, to recognize that what's visible isn't always the full picture. You know, someone might appear really shiny and whole on the outside, but on the inside, they could be struggling to hold it together. Their heart might be breaking in ways that they haven't shared, and their mind might be racing with fears that they feel too ashamed to speak about. It's not just strangers or acquaintances that this extends to, it's also the people that are closest to us. A friend who might seem a little distant, a colleague who snaps at you out of the blue, or maybe it's a loved one who's been quieter than normal. Their behavior might be masking something that could go a whole lot deeper, and they just don't have the words to explain it. See, the truth is that everyone has a story. Some chapters of the story might be joyous and light, and others might be really dark and heavy. And I know for a fact that most of us carry our wounds very quietly. We don't want to burden others or reveal parts of ourselves that feel messy or raw or broken. And I feel that the Avicii documentary is just this stark reminder of this reality. It's this story of extraordinary talent, yes, but it's also a story of extraordinary pain. And it's a tale about the pressures we place on ourselves and the ones that society place on us. It's also a call to pay attention, to really see people around us and to create spaces where it's okay to say, I'm not okay. So what can we take from this? You know, maybe it's something as simple as the act of just showing up for each other, of asking someone, how are you, really? And being willing to listen to the answer, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. You know, it's really learning to suspend judgment and offer kindness instead, even when maybe someone's actions don't make a lot of sense to us. It's choosing compassion over assumption. And I know it's hard, but softness over criticism. We're all walking around with invisible stories, invisible wounds. And while we may not be able to take away someone else's pain, we can offer them the gift of our presence. We can remind them in big ways and in small that they don't have to carry it alone. You know, Tim's story is utterly heartbreaking, but it's also a wake-up call, a reminder for all of us to see beyond the surface, to hold space for others, and to treat each other as an opportunity to spread a little more kindness, a little more understanding, because at the end of the day, we're all just doing the best we can with the stories we've been given.